let's dive into the latest trade rumors from ESPN. We got some intel around what the New Orleans Saints could potentially do at the November 4th NFL trade deadline. My name is Trizzy Trace Girouard. Thank you so much for watching Saints Now by Chat Sports. Make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications. We will be live for the trade deadline, and you don't want to miss any updates. Now let's get through the ESPN trade buzz. They went through all 32 teams, went through a few different categories, and we're going to go through each one. Buyers or sellers? Will the New Orleans Saints be trading people away? Will they be trading for people? Will they not be doing anything? It's a pretty obvious answer. In terms of adding or subtracting, here's what Dan Granziano said. They're going to be subtracting, obviously. This is a team in transition that's always maxed out on its salary cap and needs picks for the future. Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and Brandin Cooks are buzzing names around the league. Now, some other trade candidates that could be potentially moved. You could see Taysom Hill. You could see Foster Moreau potentially get traded. I do think that one of those players being moved is a little bit more unlikely than one of the wide receivers. I think if you were to make a trade in New Orleans on the offensive side of the football, the first one that comes to mind is Rashid Shaheed. But we've also heard that Cesar Ruiz has been potentially getting some interest in terms of some trade buzz as well. Now, we do know that Chris Olave is not going to be moved. The Saints are working on extending number 12. Barring a massive offer that you can't refuse, the Saints could decide to trade Chris Olave. However, it does seem like he is a part of the foreseeable future, making Rashid Shaheed / Brandin Cooks expendable. I do think that Rashid Shaheed is the player that would be moved if a wide receiver is traded. Now, defensively, there is a handful of candidates that make some sense here. Carl Granderson, Pete Werner, Isaac Yiadom, and Alontae Taylor. I think that those are all players that could bring in something nice in return. Maybe not as much for Isaac Yiadom, but Carl Granderson for an edge-needy team like the Cowboys and the 49ers come to mind. For linebackers, the Niners and the Colts come to mind for Pete Werner. Alontae Taylor maybe to the Raiders, maybe to a team that could use a nickel slot corner. I think that there is a team out there that desperately needs some help on the defense, and I think the Saints are a team that will be getting calls. Now, there are a handful of players I don't think are going anywhere. Alvin Kamara, Cam Jordan, Demario Davis, they aren't getting traded. If I had to bet on it, they are not getting moved. Alvin Kamara's already said he'd rather be sipping pina coladas than get traded and play elsewhere. I think Cam Jordan isn't going anywhere. He had the opportunity to leave, but he decided one more victory lap in New Orleans. He isn't going anywhere. Demario Davis, why would you trade him? It doesn't make any sense. So I think when it comes down to players that won't get traded, it's just those three. Now, name a player you do not want to trade. I would be so sad if my sweet prince, Rashid Shaheed, got dealt. However, I think that it's something that's very realistically going to happen. So I'm not asking who's a player that won't get traded. I'm asking a player who you do not want to trade. Get in the comments and share your thoughts. Now, let's go to the next topic. What are the key positions of need? Well, across the league, there's a lot of them. But for the New Orleans Saints, there's even more. And ESPN's Aaron Schatz focused in on one specific need, and that was defensive line. And I can't necessarily disagree because the defensive front has just not been getting it done, in my opinion. Here's what Schatz had to say. The Saints could go edge or interior as Cam Jordan is last among qualifying edge rushers in the pass rush win rate, and Nathan Shepard is near the bottom for interior defensive linemen. And it's no question that the defensive line for New Orleans just has been extremely underwhelming. I got to give a lot of kudos to Chase Young. He has been really, really impressive since returning from that calf injury. However, I do believe just took way too long to get back. That being said, thank goodness he's playing at a high level. But Nathan Shepard really doesn't move the needle for me. Devon Godshaw, he's doing all right. Brian Brzee, I like. But we're just not getting a lot of juice out of the defensive line. And I do think Chase Young's impact has been big. And I think when it comes to number 99, he's a player that as the season goes on, we'll see more and more. He's breaking up passes. He's causing fumbles. He's getting a lot of pressures. He's getting to the quarterback. Like, I've been really impressed with Chase Young in the limited sample size we've seen. But the rest of the defensive line, we're just not getting enough out of him. And I do think that the Saints need to look to upgrade, and I think that they should be adding defensive linemen in the draft. Reuben Bain Jr. comes to mind, and I'm really excited to see him play. I'm actually going to be at that game, Miami versus SMU, this weekend. All in all, I think that the Saints, when it comes to defensive linemen, they need to upgrade, but they should not be making trades for defensive linemen unless it's something like super absurd. Again, I just don't think that you need to be making trades for players. Trade players away. That's how the Saints should be operating. Now, we got some more points to discuss here around some trade buzz from ESPN. But, guys, I'm super excited to tell you all about a new sponsor here at Chat Sports. It's Bubs Naturals. I've been using this product, the collagen peptides, for a while now, and I can tell you I am feeling like a young kid once again. If you click the link in the comments and description of this video, or you use code CHAT at checkout, you'll get 20% off your order at bubsnaturals.com. Whether you like it or not, you're getting older. Stiff joints in the morning, recovering from the gym is taking longer, and hair is thinning, nails are breaking, and your skin is losing that smooth glow. I hate to break it to you, but it's all true. Aging sucks, but it doesn't have to. And starting in your mid-20s, your collagen production starts to naturally decline in your body. That is where Bubs Naturals collagen peptides come in. Bubs helps restore collagen levels closer to what your body naturally had in its youth. So your joints feel stronger, your hair and nails grow healthier, and your skin looks smoother. No junk, zero sugars, sweeteners, or fillers. Again, I've been taking this here for a few months now. I'll tell you what, I've been going to the gym, trying to get a little svelte, trying to shed a few lbs. Didn't really get the summer bod I wanted, but I'm trying to get ahead of the curve, and I have been able to recover so much easier. I'm feeling better. I've got a lot more energy. All in all, my life is so much better, and I'm feeling a lot just healthier in general thanks to Bubs Naturals, and you can live better longer with Bubs Naturals as well. For a limited time, listeners of Saints Now by Chat Sports are getting 20% off their order by using code CHAT at checkout. Just head to bubsnaturals.com and use code CHAT, and you're all set. After you purchase your items, they will ask where you heard about them. Please support Saints Now and tell them that we sent you. Click the link in the comments or description to get started today. Now, are the Saints trading anyone? That's the next topic that ESPN want to discuss for all 32 teams. Is this team going to trade anyone? Is this team going to trade anyone? Is this team going to trade anyone? The answer is extremely obvious. Catherine Terrell does a phenomenal job covering the Saints for ESPN. Here's what she had to say in players who could be traded. Linebacker Pete Werner. This is a name that I have been saying for a few weeks now. Don't say that I didn't tell you so. Alvin Kamara and Olave have drawn the most attention, but Pete Werner could be an under-the-radar candidate. The Saints have started to get rookie Danny Stutzman and second-year linebacker Isaiah Stallbird more playing time in the past 2 games, which has kept Werner off the field. That could mean the team is trying to get an evaluation of their young players before making a decision on Werner's future. And I do think that it's interesting the Saints are taking Pete Werner off the field and not Demario Davis. It's an obvious thing to do. Demario Davis is a better linebacker. But I can tell you right now, I'm so excited to see the future of the linebacker position. Isaiah Stallbird, he's a thumper. I think that they got a dude in that player. Danny Stutzman, we know how I feel about him. He's a player that brings a lot of energy, brings a lot of juice. He literally is a proclaimed cracker with the juice. And I think that he's somebody who is going to add a lot of energy to the Saints defense. When he's on the field, he's making plays. He's around every single play. He has a nose for the football. I'm telling you right now, the future is very, very bright at the linebacker position. But I think that you should not be done addressing that need because you do have to prepare for life after Demario Davis. And especially if you do trade Pete Werner, you're going to need more linebacker depth. Arvell Reese, the linebacker at Ohio State, he's nice. I really, really like him. Harold Perkins, Whit Weeks. I mean, there's a lot of names out there for linebackers that the Saints could go and address. I think that the Saints should draft a linebacker regardless of what they do at the trade deadline. But Catherine Terrell of ESPN says that Pete Werner is an under-the-radar candidate to keep your eyes on. Now, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I believe I mentioned this earlier, we will be live for the NFL trade deadline. We got coverage on November 4th starting at 12 p.m. Central Time, so make sure your notifications are on. We may go live a little bit earlier, but we will be live throughout the trade deadline. So come hang out, see what happens across the league, and have some fun here at Saints Now by Chat Sports. Whether you're working, whether you're at school, doesn't matter. We're going to be here keeping you informed. Make sure you subscribe, turn on your notifications for your one-stop shop for the NFL trade deadline. Now, let's go to the final discussion topic. Who were the potential trade targets? Now, I don't think the Saints should make trades. Again, this is not something that I believe the Saints will be doing. This is simply what ESPN said as a player the Saints could trade for. It's a divisional trade, which is interesting, but let's see what Seth Walder had to say. Panthers running back Jonathan Brooks could be an interesting name for the Saints. New Orleans are non-contenders right now, so any acquiring they do ought to be focused on 2026 and beyond, and should probably involve rookie contract players. Brooks was selected as a second-round pick by the Panthers in 2024 after tearing his ACL in college and then tearing it again 13 months later in the pros after 9 NFL carries. After all that, could he still realize his NFL potential? I don't think that this is a trade that Saints should make. I don't think that the New Orleans should be looking to bring in players. However, it hasn't stopped them before. Remember, they traded for Jalen Polk, who's on IR. So they're clearly thinking ahead. Can't write it off. I don't think it would be a smart idea. I just simply don't. He had 22 yards in 2024 stats. He had 22 yards on 9 carries, 3 catches, 2023. I can't speak today. 2024 stats in 3 games. 9 carries, 22 yards on the ground, 3 catches, 23 yards in the air, no touchdowns. He did, however, have over 1,100 yards at Texas and 10 touchdowns in 2023, which is pretty impressive, but, I just don't think that this is the trade the Saints should be making. And for what it's worth, I'm a firm believer if an interdivisional trade is going down, there's a reason for it. It's because they know something that the other team doesn't. They just don't want to deal with it. I just don't think it would make sense. But I can tell you, I think the Saints do need an upgrade at the running back position. I love Alvin Kamara. I'm a huge fan of his. I will always appreciate AK-41 and the things he's done early in his career, in the middle of his career, and here on the back portion of his career. I cannot tell you how grateful I am for his services. However, he is 30. It's seeming like regressing. And according to Next Gen Stats, recorded negative 84 rushing yards over expectation this season. It's not great. That's just simply not good. And you need better production on the ground. You don't have Kendre Miller. Like, the Saints need to upgrade at the running back position. They need to get better at the running back position. I will continue to say it. You've got to address running back again this offseason. Now, how many trades do you think the Saints will make? This is the end of the week. Your boy can't speak, and I'm having a hard time. Now, how many trades will New Orleans make before the deadline? They haven't made any in a while. Jalen Polk was the last one. That feels like it was forever ago. But how many will they make? I think at least 2 are in the future. Be sure to subscribe. Like I said, we'll be live for the trade deadline. We'll be hanging out. We'll be here all day long on Saints Now by Chat Sports. Don't forget to turn on your notifications for me, for my guy Loco Lopez. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time.